start with like a high pitch. So Karmi bhayaha parito harehe priyataya vyaktim yayu jnaninas tebhyo jnana vimukta bhakti paramaha premaeka nishthastatah tebhyastah pashupal pankaj drashash tabhyo api saradhika prestha tadvidyam tadiya sarasi tam nashtrayet kaha kriti. Yes.
Okay, so karmebhya parito hare priyataya vyaktim yajurjaninas tebhyo jnana vimukta bhakti paramaha premaika nisthas tatah tebhyastah pashupala pankaj drashash tabhyopi saradhika prestha tadvadiyam tadiya sarasitam nashrayet kaha kriti.
Yes, I think you need to practice a bit more. So it's the meter. Once you know the meter, then the whole verse is very melodious, and you will word by word it will come into places. So the meter is very important, because in last verse, if you practice that, so it's the same meter. So I think if we ask if Divanshi Mata is there, she can recite.
Yes, Prabhuji. Karmibhya parito hare priyataya vyaktim yayur naninas tebhyo nana vimukta bhakti paramaha premaika nisthas tataha tebhyastah pashupala pankajadrishas tabhyopi saradhika prestha tadvadiyam tadiya sarasi tam nashrayet kaha kriti.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Is Parth Prabhu there?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Can you try that?
Yeah. Karmibhya parito hare priyataya vyaktim yayurjnaninas tebhyo jnana vimukta bhakti paramaha premaika nisthastataha tebhyasta pashupala pankajadrishas tabhyo api saradhika prestha tadvadiyam tadiya sarasi tam nashrayat kaha kriti.
Very nice. Yes. So yeah, if you practice more on this meter, so you will get that meter, because all last three verses, the next verse also is the same meter. Okay, so translation. Mataji.
So probably first word to word translation.
We done the word to word last time.
Okay, so I'll just take up translation.
Yes.
Translation. In the Shastra, it is said that of all types of fruitive workers, he who is advanced in knowledge of the higher values of life is favored by the Supreme Lord Hare. Out of many such people who are advanced in knowledge, Jnanis, one who is practically liberated by virtue of his knowledge, may take to devotional service. He is superior to others. However, one who has actually attained prema, pure love of Krishna, is superior to him. The gopis are exalted above all the advanced devotees because they are always totally dependent upon Sri Krishna, the transcendental cowherd boy. Among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most dear to Krishna. Her Kunda lake is as profoundly dear to Lord Krishna as this most beloved of the gopis. Who then will not reside at Radha Kund and in a spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings? Aparakrita Bhava, rendering loving service to the divine couple, Shri Radha Govind, who perform their Ashtakaliya Leela, their eternal eightfold daily pastimes. Indeed, those who execute devotional service on the banks of Radha Kund are the most fortunate people in the universe.
Yeah. So actually, last week we done the word Varshanonam. So I will suggest, like, if you you can go listen the last class, and I will request all the participants to give the 100% attendance, because if we miss a class something, so we'll miss quite a lot, and for exams, because end of these 3 verses we'll have another exam. So for the exam also the attendance is required. So so going forth now, so please be in the class, because they are very important verses. So in the last last Saturday, we studied about Vikarmis, Karmi, and Gyanis, in the previous class. So that's the half part. Now, in today's class, we're going to study about the devotees, pure devotees of the Lord, and exalted devotees like gopis, and then to topmost Srimati Radharani and Radhakund. So I'll just go where we stopped. Yeah. So we stopped here, and now we'll read the remaining part of purport, and then we'll discuss the points. Yes, Mataji. Start from here. When a Jnani takes.
When a Jnani takes to devotional service, he rapidly becomes superior to any ordinary Jnani. Such an advanced person is described as Jnana Vimukta Bhakti Param. How a Jnani takes to devotional service is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, 7 chapter 7, 19th verse, wherein Krishna says, Bahunam Janmanam Sorry, Prabhu, I don't know. I'm just forgetting this.
Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan. Yeah.
I don't know why I just forgot it.
So when you come across the Bhagavad Gita verses, the meter is like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So then you will remember.
Yes, Prabhu, I was just focusing on the last meter, so I think I just lost.
That's all right.
Bahunam Janamanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvam Iti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Actually, a person is wise when he surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna. But such a Mahatma, great soul, is very rare. After taking to devotional service under the regulative principles, a person may come to the platform of spontaneous love of Godhead, following in the footsteps of great devotees like Narad and Sanak and Sanatan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead then recognizes him to be superior. The devotees who have developed love of Godhead are certainly in an exalted position.
Yes, we'll stop here to discuss the point. So here, because as we said that now we will study further in that, the term described here, Jnana Vimukta Bhakti Parama. So this is a liberated by knowledge engaged in devotional service. So the Jnanis, we studied about Jnanis, right, last week. So Jnanis are like philosophers or people who meditate, or yogis. They all comes in that category. So the Jnanis who takes to devotional service is superior to ordinary Jnanis. So this is the Jnana Vimukta Bhakti Param. So that Jnani is again superior, is higher than ordinary Jnani. So the reference is given here, that Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 verse 19 that we studied. So actually such a person is called Mahatma, the great soul, and he is rare. So most of people, they takes to religion and religious practices to fulfill their desires, either gross desires or subtle desires, but both are material desires, like acquiring mystic powers or elevated to higher planets, or even doing philanthropic activities to satisfy their false ego, or gaining some sukriti. But out of all these, coming to this platform, that Vasudeva Sarvamiti is very rare. So what is our position? Because we know that vikarmis, karmis, jnanis, and the superior to jnani is the jnana vimukta bhakti parma. So what is our position, where we fit? Like, so it is because of extreme causeless mercy of pure devotees that we are in contact with uncontaminated knowledge. By this knowledge, by Srila Prabhupada, we can understand our real position, and we can follow the process of devotional service, which is very rare to achieve. So the process has been given, and knowledge has been given to us, and whoever will follow this sincerely will become top class devotee of the Lord. So top class doesn't mean that how many years you are following this process. Srila Prabhupada said that devotees who have developed love of Godhead are certainly in an exalted position. So developing the relationship is important. This will come in the next para. So reciprocation of love is important. And we know if we have developed this or not, because artificially we cannot show or pretend this stage. If we do this, then this pretending doesn't last long. So position of exalted devotees of the Lord comes with sincere service and sincere following of the process, like chanting, offering, studying, preaching, all that. So here we can understand, I'll share that again, that the Jnani, he's superior. Why he's superior? Because he's taking a devotional service. Because taking up the devotional service, that process that we are following is so powerful. It's the topmost. It's topmost of all these jnanis, karmis, meditation, or karmis are the lowest. So that's the reason. So that's why he's very rare, that person. And Srila Prabhupada also said that who takes up Krishna consciousness is very intelligent. So it's an intelligent people who takes up devotional service. Now we read the further, the next point, of all these devotees. Yes.
Of all these devotees, the gopis are recognized as superior because they do not know anything other than satisfying Krishna, nor do the gopis expect anything in return from Krishna. Indeed, sometimes Krishna puts them into extreme suffering by separating himself from them. Nonetheless, they cannot forget Krishna. When Krishna left Vrindavan for Mathura, the gopis became most dejected and spent the rest of their lives simply crying in separation from Krishna. This means that in one sense, they were never actually separated from Krishna. There is no difference between thinking of Krishna and associating with him. Rather, Vipralamba Seva, thinking of Krishna in separation, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, is far better than serving Krishna directly. Thus, of all the devotees who have developed unalloyed devotional love for Krishna, the gopis are most exalted. And out of all these exalted gopis, Srimati Radharani is the highest. No one can excel the devotional service of Srimati Radharani. Indeed, even Krishna cannot understand the attitude of Srimati Radharani. Therefore, he took her position and appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just to understand her transcendental feelings.
Yes,
In
ma'am.
this,
We'll stop here. So this is a very important para. So yeah. So in this in this point, you say that out of such devotees, the gopis are superior, because they are 100% dependent on Krishna. They never separated from Krishna because they are remembering Krishna in separation, and that's called Vipralamba Bhav. So Srila Prabhupada said that there is no difference between thinking of Krishna and association with him. In fact, when we are in separation of our loved ones, then we always thinking of them, So this mood, remembering Krishna in separation, is the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we, as a Gaudiya Vaishnava, are also follow the same mood, Actually, a few weeks ago, His Grace Amrish Prabhu shared a verse from Srimad Bhāgavatam, and I will read that verse. Shravanad darshanad dhyanad mai bhavo anukirtanat na tatha sannikarshena pratiyata tato grahan. It is by hearing about me, seeing my deity form, meditating upon me, and chanting my names and glories, that love for me develops, not by physical proximity. Therefore, please go back to your homes. So, by hearing, meditating, chanting the holy names and glories of the Lord, and by seeing deities, we develop love for Krishna, not by physical proximity. So, this is the mood to be followed. And gopis are the top class because they are in this mood, of separation. As Srila Prabhupada said that they, when Krishna left Vrindavan, so they were very much in separation, very remembering all the time about Krishna. So remembering, thinking about Krishna, and with associating with Krishna is the same thing. So now, out of these exalted gopis, Srimati Radharani is the topmost. So Srila Prabhupada said that no one excelled the devotion service of Srimati Radharani. Even Krishna comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to understand her transcendental feeling. So Srimati Radharani is the topmost among gopis and devotees of the Lord. So there is gopis. So as we said now, hierarchy, right? So it started with very lowest, Vikarmis, then Karmis, then Gyanis, then from ordinary Gyanis to the Gyani who take the devotion service, then the devotees of the Lord. And out of those devotees, the gopis are the topmost. And out of those gopis, Srimati Radharani is the topmost. Srimati Radharani is the top devotee of the Lord. So there is actually Gopi Geet in Srimad Bhāgavatam, when Gopi is searching for Krishna and singing the Geet. Long time ago, His Grace Amrish Prabhu shared this first verse and got us recited as he do and as he does, and it's very melodious. And I still remember that time. It's long time ago he done that. So I will read that. Gopaya uchuhu jaiti te dhikam janmana vraja Traita indira shashvadhatrahi daita drishyatan dikshutavakash vaitrita swastvam vichinvate. Translation: The gopis said, O beloved, your birth in the land of Vraj has made it exceedingly glorious, and thus Indira, the goddess of fortune, always resides here. It is only for your sake that we, your devoted servants, maintain our lives, and we have been searching everywhere for you. So please show yourself to us. So here also, this is very melodious and very very nice to sing and meditate upon. Gopis are searching for Krishna, and they in separation, they're remembering Krishna and his glories, he's singing his glories. So this is the mood of gopis and Srimati Radharani. So in this paragraph, we can understand that why the gopis are the topmost and why Srimati Radharani is the top, right at the top. So, is any question so far on those points? Okay. So we'll go.
There was this line that a Jnani in devotion is better than a normal Jnani, and better than a Jnani in devotion is like someone who has attained pure love of Godhead.
Yes, the exalted devotee,
So-
the pure devotee.
So what is the difference between a Jnani who is in devotion and a devotee?
So Jnani is, as we said, that the Jnani is the philosopher or who's on the platform of knowledge, right? He's just knowing, he's knowledge based. But when he takes up the devotion service, he becomes a devotee, right? Because he takes up the devotion service. And that's why he's in the devotee category then. And by following the devotion service, then he becomes how sincerely you are following, then your reciprocation relationship with Krishna established. Then you become higher and higher. And in that example, the gopis are the best. The gopis are the topmost, exalted, because they have this relationship all the time, 100% dependent on Krishna. So we can see, we can judge our own self where we fit in or where we are. We are our own judge. So if we're following, we're having a relationship with Krishna and reciprocation is there, that is the best thing. Yeah. So that is the difference with the Jnani. Yeah. He becomes devotee. Right. So now we'll read the last para.
In this way, Sri Rupa Goswami gradually concludes that Srimati Radharani is the most exalted devotee of Krishna, and that her Kund, lake, Sri Radha Kund, is the most exalted place. This is verified in a quotation from Laghu Bhagavatamrit, Uttarakand 45, as quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yatha Radha Priya Vishnos Tasya Kundam Priyam Tatha Sarvagopeshu Saivaika Vishnoratyanta Vallabha.
Very nice.
Just as Srimati Radharani is dear to the Supreme Lord Krishna, Vishnu, so her bathing place, Radha Kund, is equally dear to Krishna. Among all the gopis, she alone stands supreme as the Lord's most beloved. Therefore, everyone interested in Krishna consciousness should ultimately take shelter of Radha Kund and execute devotional service there throughout one's life. This is the conclusion of Rupa Goswami in the 10th verse of Upadeshamrit.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Maharaj ki jai. So yes, here is the last point, that Srimati Radharani is the most dear to Krishna, and her lake Radha Kunda is equally dear to Krishna. So when we read the translation, in the translation it is said that towards the end, that who then will not reside at Radha Kunda and in a spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings, aprakrit bhav, render loving service to the divine couple Shri Radha Govinda, who perform their Ashtakalya Leela, their eightfold daily pastimes. So first point is that the Sri Radha Kunda is a spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings, a prakrit bhav. As we know that Vraj Dham is a representation of spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan, the eternal abode of Lord Krishna. So everything there is got spiritual identity and personality. So Sri Radha Kunda is a spiritual body and holding a prakrit bhav. And when we take shelter of Sri Radha Kunda, we receive this bhav. And how this is possible? There is a instance of Srila Narottama Das Thakur, that at a place near Navadvip, where the Padma river, there was the pastime of Narottama Das Thakur, that he's receiving the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the agency of the holy river. Because at the age of 12, Srila Narottama Das Thakur bathed in Padma river on the instruction of Lord Nityananda Prabhu in his dream. And Narottama Das Thakur, when he bathed in the Padma river, and goddess of river appeared, and on the order of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him pure love of God head. So we can understand that Sri Radhakunda also surcharged with this ecstatic devotional feeling. So why this? How? Because the example of Narottama Das Thakur is there, that the water body can hold these feelings or these bhav. So actually, it's like it's a personality, as we said that in Golok Vrindavan. So, and why it is surcharged? Because divine couple Shri Shri Radha Govinda performed their Ashtakaliya Leela there, as per in the translation, right? So actually in there it is said that the three most important places in village, which are eternal center of the Lord's pastimes, it is said that Radha and Krishna meet in these points. In the morning they meet at Vrindakund, and during the midday at Radhakund, and at the night at the Radha Govinda temple in Vrindavan. So Radhakunda, who is surcharged with the pure love, because it's been the Leela is performed there by the Lord. So how we should take shelter of Sri Radhakunda? Is it by taking bath in it? As we studied that, the Srila Prabhupada said that he wasn't happy. Srila Prabhupada wasn't happy when some devotees they jumped into it and take bath, because Radhakunda and Srimati Radharani is known different, and so we should be very much respectful of Sri Radhakunda and only sprinkle water on our head after paying the obeisances there. So for us is when we follow Vipra Lamba Bhav and remember pastimes of the Lord and chanting the holy name of Lord, in this mood, we can take the shelter of Sri Radhakunda. And this is the way we can execute our devotional service in our lives. Actually, in the next verse, it would be more about Radhakunda, Sri Radhakunda, because how, we can take shelter of Sri Radhakunda. So that's why these three verses, like first verse was talking about the hierarchy of the places, the holy places, the dhams, which one is the topmost. And in this verse, we studied that what's the position of the different people, right? Who's the topmost devotee and who's the lowest in the ladder, and what is the importance of Srimati Radhakunda and why. So so this is the whole all the points from this verse. Is there any comments or questions so far on these points, please? No? Okay. So I will suggest that if you attend these regularly, like if you don't miss a session, then you will understand the whole thing, Thank you very much, Amrish Prabhu, for giving me chance, and so we can now address the question of Divanshi Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Would you like to ask the question again, Divanshi Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. The question was that Like, what is the relation between Raganuga Bhakti and the Sadhya stage? Because, like, as I understand it, sadhana stage and Sadhya stage are like have somewhat the same definitions as like your Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. So I just wanted, as in not definitions, but like the one is at the beginning stage of following the rules, and the other is spontaneous love of Godhead. So those things, I wanted to understand the relation between the two. Prabhuji, you're on mute.
Sure.
May I ask, how did you come across these two words, Prabhu Mother? How did this question arise?
Prabhuji, we were discussing the answers of the exams that we had in the last session.
Yeah.
And so one of the answers which I missed in the original paper, I think. So I just wanted to clarify the question, the answer.
Okay. Okay. So was this not answered in the question of the session?
Prabhuji, I think we did not have enough time for that. So that's why we carried it forward to the next session.
No, the question, sorry, Prabhuji, the question was answered. What was the original question was that what is the sadhana and sadhya, the difference between sadhana and sadhya.
Yeah.
And the process is the goal. That was the answer there. But then because of because we studied, we got the question and we studied about Raganuga Bhakti. So I think Mataji was curious about, is the Sadhya stage and the Raganuga Bhakti, is it a common, is it the same thing or is it different?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. These are devotional processes and activities. 1 second. Okay. Now see the Sadhya Bhakti. I've got my echo going here. Hold on. So Sadhya Bhakti is basically the joint. Normally people ask the question, what is the difference between, or what is Sadhya Bhakti and Sadhana Bhakti? But Sadhya Bhakti, Raganuga Bhakti is further up, So Sadhya Bhakti is a process, is a stage where we inquire, who are we? What are we? What is this world? So that's the process of Sadhya Bhakti. Those questions. Yeah. And then of course it works through the process. But the process of it, Sharanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasivanam, etc., they become Sadhana Bhakti. Okay. And Raganuga Bhakti is much advanced stage where devotees then they form upon when they are qualified enough. It's a natural inclination to do so, where they follow a particular devotee from Vrindavan, in the Vrindavan Bhav. Okay. In simple definitions, in so simplistic terms, this is what it means. Is it okay? Does it answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji, it answers my question. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Sanjeev, you finished your session. Your discussion is over.
Yes, Prabhuji. The verse is finished. So.
Okay. Okay. So I'll just speak for about 10 minutes on something more as well.
Yeah.
You see, Gopi being the Gopi's love for Krishna, Gopi Jana Pada Kamalayo, Das Das Anudas. We accept Gopi's love for Krishna as a topmost. Now, why do we accept that as topmost? Why do we accept it? Can anybody say this?
Because they were always thinking of Krishna without expecting anything in return from him, and they were constantly associating with Krishna in their thought.
That's okay. That's right. That's right. That is correct. But still, this is a correct answer. But still, there's a better answer. More clear answer. This is a correct answer, but there's more clear answer, and that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted that. It is, we are the followers of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu accepted this. Gopi Janapada Kamalayo Dasa Dasan. See, what happens is this, that other sampradayas, they all love Krishna. Okay? They are Krishna devotees. Krishna is accepted as God, They are devotees of Krishna. We are actually devotees of Radharani. Everyone who follows the Braj Bhav, the Vrindavan Bhav, they follow Radharani. We accept Radharani as Supreme. So Krishna is called Madan Mohan. The meaning of Madan Mohan, Madan means Cupid, enchants, Okay, one who enchants the Cupid is called Madan Mohan. It's one of the 5 main temples in Vrindavan, Madan Mohan. Radharani is called Madan Mohan Mohini, the one who enchants, the enchanter of the Cupid. Okay. Now, Radharani again is a very confidential part of Krishna. He doesn't like it to be superly splashed in public. Her name and love for her. So we are followers of Srila Prabhupada. We are a little conservative in chanting Radharani's name too. Although we follow Radharani and the gopis. So be very careful about this point. What I'm saying is very important to you. In Vrindavan, if you go, they chant Radhe Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe Sham. Okay, this is what they do, right? We also do, but not so much out in the open. We rather chant Krishna's name, Hare Krishna. Okay. You see, even in the whole of Srimad Bhāgavatam, Radha name is not mentioned at all, as I told once. But because Radharani's fervent servant, Shukadeva Goswami, he could not resist to bring it out. That's why he used the word in Aradhana. That's when Radhana, the word comes out. See? Now those who are not from the Sampradaya will not understand this. Now all of you are from the Sampradaya. Why? Because you're following the teachings of the Sampradaya. You accepted the teachings of the Sampradaya. That's why you are in the Sampradaya. You follow the Sampradaya, you see. So slowly this will be revealed in the heart. But please do not jump. All of you are very young, very fortunate souls. Young also, who knows who's young? I may be younger than you guys. You may be separated from Krishna long before me as spirit souls. In this body, I may be older to you. But in different bodies, we just don't know. And without the bodies, we just don't know where the soul is when it is separate from Krishna. So it's a very dynamic process, this whole thing. Also, we should understand one thing, that because of this point, if we go to dhams and all, this is a very confidential point. Again, I'm saying for a controversial thing, I'm saying. I mean, maybe, hanged to dry for serious, but we're preaching. So we have to say this. So we have to be very careful when we go to dhams also. You see, because we may know a little bit here and there, but if somebody would come and give us more information, we'd like to hear more about this. See, Radha Krishna's pastimes, and a bit more about the bhakti. Even in our own devotee circles also you'll find this. Only an immature person, an immature devotee who's not a preacher, will go and impress other devotees to show his better knowledge in knowledge. A mature preacher will understand this. Oh, you are under shadow of somebody. Oh, good. Please follow them. And they back off from that. They do not go and show their knowledge and show that these things. That's why it's very important when you go to dhams or go to any association. We have to understand what we can, whom we can get knowledge from. Why? That's why last week's lecture I said that the guest speakers can cross the limit sometimes of knowledge because they may not know all of us who's in the middle level, intermediate. Nobody has that knowledge. In fact, I've been criticized so much here in Auckland that I've got this preaching where we've got beginners program, intermediate program, and leaders program. They say solid criticism, but it is 21 years now. I said if Krishna wanted to stop it, it would have stopped long ago. Or even now it can stop. Why do you worry? So what I'm trying to say is this, that in the dhams, especially Vrindavan, Mayapur and all this, it's always good to go with somebody senior who knows things. You see? Just like we have got sanghas, the other sanghas also have got senior devotees too. And there are senior devotees who are much senior to us. They also have their own sanghas of discussion, understanding. We discuss these things in threadbare. So we discuss threadbare this kind of knowledge. So that's why Prabhupada was sometimes criticized to say Prabhupada gave only basic knowledge. But actually it is not. Prabhupada taught it to hippies and whatnot. This kind of people are completely different. We have no idea what hippies are like. We have no idea. I'll share it with the beginners program too sometimes, so I'll keep it for that. But the Ashtakaliya Leela, which Srila Prabhupada writes here, it is very advanced. This is 8-fold pastimes of Radha Krishna in a given day. Sanjeev Prabhu must have elaborated a little bit there. But it is very confidential. Now, again, if we tell you something here, I can tell you you'll jump there to find out on your own knowledge. Better to go with somebody. And they say it starts from here, finishes here every single day. And who does that? Who coordinates? There are devotees who coordinates that. The whole pastimes. The different energies of Krishna which works there in Vrindavan. See? So knowledge that is got from there is again understood in a very systematic manner and dispersed. As you understand, you also preach accordingly. So I wanted to just caution all of you on that point as well. That with us also, sometimes we make you preach, give class and all that, but it may go to your head, And then for that, you'll go somewhere and read somewhere online, everything is available. Wherever anybody gets knowledge without authorization from Sampradaya, that knowledge is always weak, I can tell you that. You may quietly go under a blanket and Google and find out knowledge, But knowledge is always that will be very weak, it will not be collected. So it is very important that even that knowledge, if you have, go through your counselors or leaders. They spend a lot of time with you. Everyone's files are with them. They work very hard with you people. You'll be surprised to know how in detail your progress is discussed by them amongst their own minds. And sometimes they discuss with us wherever there is a need. And you're blissfully sleeping in your time in a bed, nicely. I'm such a great devotee, or I have to go to work tomorrow morning, all these things you have to do. That thing is going on. So please, you must follow your teachers very nicely. They work very hard for you. And especially at this point, otherwise those who go to this Vrindavan and all this on their own, I can tell you with certainty, if not guarantee, they will be discouraged. Actually, they'll be discouraged and come back. In places like Holy Dhams also, they will discourage and come back. Because they get all confused about so many things. The same Gopi Bhav, the same our message, but there will be little twists which you will not understand. Not only you, even I would understand. It's through experience that we understand this quietly. And we come back to Prabhupada. See? I'm telling you with reasonable certainty. So ultimately, it's up to you what you want to do. But my sincere recommendation to all of you is this, that make the most of your seniors. Online, they are spending a lot of time with you online. And also when they come offline, when they come to your places, where you reside, take advantage of the association. Spend some time. Ask questions, This is how the bond will increase. You'll get better knowledge. And then slowly you will preach internally also. It'll help in your preaching. So I wanted to make sure that all of us, at least in the intermediate level, devotees are cautioned about these things and wait for the right time and opportunity. And these are the forums in which you can ask questions, and those questions can be answered, And yeah. Okay, so if that question is answered, I wanted to add a few dimensions to our discussion. There's 5 more minutes before 6 o'clock. So I think, Sanjeev Prabhu, is it okay if we stop the discussion here and then we come back at 6 o'clock for the program?
Yes, Prabhu. That's okay with me.
Wonderful. And next week, Krishna willing, then we will give you all your answers and all, And as I said, that those attendance is very important. Of course, you can have your attendance, which is a different attendance. Sometimes you cannot. You're giving your examinations or work and all. Just write down, that's all right. A certain percentage will need to be given, which will be told to you. Okay. Thank you very much. So we'll finish our discussion here. We'll come back in 5 minutes. Jai. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.